And guys, hi to you, hi to everybody in the live chat, hi to everyone that are watching this recorded. I am here. I'm the 40k Empress, of course, with my dear friend Kit from Chicago Reacts, and we are here to discuss three main topics. First of all, it's going to be, of course, what the heck's happening with MrBeast, because we are all his viewers, even to a smaller or a bigger extent. Then we're going to talk about Henry Cavill and what he's doing into the 40k universe, so to speak, and we're going to talk about, is it good or is it bad that Robert Downey Jr. is all of a sudden now Doctor Doom? So, Kid, hi to you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Dr. Doom and Robert Downey Jr. was not on my bingo card for this year, so I'm still trying to figure out why this is happening. But we'll get to that when we can get there. But it's always good to be on your show, and shout out to your outstanding audience. Everyone, hit that like button. It's the right thing to do. Come on, you hip cool cats, do that.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. So, let me tell you, like, real quick, how I am familiar with MrBeast. You know, MrBeast obviously has a very young audience. You know, that doesn't mean that older people cannot watch it, like, not kids, I mean. So, yeah, I sometimes watch his videos, mainly those videos that he's giving things away because he's really helping people. Also, animal shelters, one of the videos, and that is really something that's important, very important here in Bulgaria. We also have such issues, of course, with stray dogs, and I really feel
Mhm.
for them and want to help them as well. And people are doing things towards this direction. So he is touching some strings here with the way that the ways that he is helping people. So I really thought that when I understood how he came from humble beginnings, how long he fought to be on YouTube, and what the amount of success that he achieved, and even surpassing PewDiePie, that's amazing. So I never thought what one like evil or whatever thought that's negative against him, even when people are try to attack him for giving other stuff away, or I mean for trying to cure people from blindness. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, if I also had such power and money, I would help people. I really will help people. That's serious. So a lot of people do want to genuinely help others. So I really thought that MrBeast is one of those people, and he still could be. So let's not just cut his head right off, from what we know
Right.
so far. We are going to discuss, of course, what we know. But yeah, basically, I watched him for that, and then all of a sudden, Chris Tyson, this guy, started to change and to change.
Mhm.
And because I don't watch all of the MrBeast videos, my experience was like one day I just realized that this guy looks like kind of feminine or wearing female clothes, even clothes that
Mhm.
I won't wear. That's another topic. but, but yeah, so I'm like, what is happening here? And I have to look it up. And then, of course, other people brought up the question that, well, because kids are watching MrBeast, they're going to witness this change. And okay, I mean, it's not from that side of things, it's not good because kids will see things that they're not supposed to see yet. So yeah, what do you think? What's your experience with MrBeast so far?
Well, here's the thing. I find this whole situation to be very concerning because if this thing goes further south and if there are more scandals that rise up, I am very concerned of overall what this will do to the greater YouTube community. Now here's what I mean by this. He is YouTube's golden boy, and right now he is taking some direct hits to his name, to his brand, and his association with the actions of Chris, also going by the name of Ava. But I know of Mr. Beast. I don't know him obviously, but when you think of YouTube, he is one of those front card people. And there have been a couple of times in which people tried to cancel Mr. Beast for planting 2 million trees or helping people hear again or see again, which that's great. I'm all for good, but with the good, there also has to be acknowledgement of the bad, and there are some serious red flags in regards to how Mr. Beast was running his operations. And your audience, and I'm pretty sure because we talked about this too, are well aware of the video that came out on July 24th by Dogpack 404. I work for Mr. Beast. He's a fraud. And in it, this 53-minute and 38-second video, it breaks down some of the giveaways and live streams at which MrBeast has done. It breaks down how he has changed his, I guess, his chocolate bar company and also MrBeast Burgers, and overall how he pays workers and how he treats people and how he runs these prizes. Because apparently, at least from the information in this video, a lot of the winners are associated friends, employees, relatives of MrBeast. So in some of these contests that we're seeing, to quote that famous line from Fallout New Vegas, the game was rigged from the start. And if that's the case, there's about to be millions upon millions of people disappointed in thinking that they had a chance of ever winning a prize. And it's becoming clear that that's not the case. And there was also recently breaking, and I should have brought this up earlier. MrBeast held an event with 5,000 people. And in it, there's been reports of people being injured, being denied food. Again, these are all accusations right now coming out. There are people speaking out, and if starts turning, if this little snowball starts turning into an avalanche, this other thing that MrBeast is doing is, well, questionable, that he's ignoring people's safety. And then let's address the big one in the room, and that is Chris Ava's actions with people who are not of age. And I'm going to be very careful with these words because YouTube doesn't screw around. But there's a scandal in which Chris was a fan of a very controversial artist, air quote, and in which he promoted that in the Discord chat as well. And there's been ongoing statements that MrBeast probably knew of this and this kind of behavior because he's known Chris for a very long time. They started the channel from the beginning. So I'm concerned because I think right now we have found a mass graveyard of skeletons, and they are all about to rise up from the grave. Some of them true, some of them probably false. But I think if what I fear is coming down the road, I think there could be somewhat of an adpocalypse coming our way that will impact a lot of YouTube content creators. Because if this is something that MrBeast just can't sweep on the rug, I think we're all going to be feeling the hit of overall how YouTube runs its operations from here on out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It does not look good because at the beginning it was just the Chris thing, and now it's this
Yeah.
whole other scandal about how MrBeast actually does his thing. And if that is really bad, if it's really illegal or whatever, how this person that you mentioned is trying to prove here, then we will have an issue. I mean, MrBeast will have a serious issue on YouTube with his career, with his image, and that can change absolutely everything. I don't know where this can go in terms of how horrible this will impact MrBeast, but it does not look good. And his whole image is about being a good person that just gives, and he doesn't really care about the money himself that much. So that is what I also watched in some of the documentaries about his life and all of that. This was just like 2 months ago when I watched such a thing. So now it's like totally different. And
Mhm.
I feel disappointed so far. But as always, we shouldn't jump on things before things are really proven. I mean, I know about
Yeah.
this guy that now has millions of views. He says that he works for MrBeast. I haven't finished like the whole video because it's very long. But
Mhm.
he did not mention, in the beginning at least, what did he do for MrBeast? You know?
Mhm. True.
Uh, where did he
Very.
say?
Well, I would go on to say that not only in this video, because I'm also referencing a few other videos as well that have been shared. Um, I think if we have to look at the one video in particular that really set this whole motion, this whole action to take place, it all started with Chris, and there was a YouTuber about a year ago, Sunny V2, who actually did a video about why Chris, Ava now, I guess whatever, would be a nightmare for MrBeast. And that's the thing. Now, again, look, due process has to take place. But in that video, Sunny V2 was dragged by the YouTube community and MrBeast for making this video, being critical of Chris for, I guess, going through the transition. I mean, if that's something that Chris wanted to go through, fine. But the purpose of the video was saying like this would be a branding problem for MrBeast, and going forward, there would be a potential problem. And I think a lot of people have been trying to cancel MrBeast for various reasons. And look, there are some of the things that, MrBeast has been running on. Some of the things that he's been working on are extremely questionable, and some of his practices as well. Um, but it all started with Chris, and his interactions with younger people is one of those big red flags that allowed, I guess, people to look in deeper of how MrBeast runs his entire operations, his studios, his channels. And the thing is, yes, we have a couple people coming forward and speaking out. If more people come out, because there's blood in the water, people are about to pounce, even if they can get their 5 minutes or 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I well, I have seen some of the Discord conversations as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, those are not. I don't know what a 20-year-old person is doing talking to somebody who is 14 or around that age.
yeah,
Like why you
there's
would
literally no
and
reason
have
to do that.
no, there isn't, and the thing is, there have been more screenshots and videos showing that there has been this attempt to deep clean the entire Discord, and also it's been revealed that, at least as it stands right now, until something else counters it, that MrBeast was in that Discord, and that, I mean, you could say that he didn't know. If you've known somebody since the early days of your childhood, how can you not know? That's the thing. How can you not know? Like I get that people can be busy. I don't know what his schedule's like, but yeah, the alarms are buzzing in my head. How did you not know? You have to have somewhat of an eye on everything, and if you are sitting on top of the mountain, you have to know what all your um you know people who are part of your crew are doing. And even when those controversial pieces of art from that artist, air quote, I don't want to say his name because again you could get banned or something of that nature, was in a video, and what his YouTube channel did is actually delete that video or that portion of the video out. I don't know if you were you aware of that?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. And hold on, Huckleberry says MrBeast is roast beef.
Yeah, well, if he does not clean this up, he will definitely be a roast beef. But yeah, first
Well,
first of all, Ah, I mean, I had a lot of friends before. I say I had because we had to break up for various reasons because basically I decided to grow up and then decided to not grow up. And then that's another
mhm.
topic. Point is that even if you are very close with someone, they can really change with time. And
Yeah.
I mean, one particular friend of mine, a girlfriend, she is never discussing anything that has to do with personal life. I only knew something, but fast forward years after that, she is still super closed off when we are talking about a personal life. It's like a painful topic, basically. So there are some people that are more closed off than others and wouldn't say certain things on purpose. They did not face their own issues, so to speak, and they don't want to talk about them to solve them. It's just a painful topic or whatever. Now, this guy, Chris, he does not seem the type of person that is like that because he seems like he's very open. Basically, he is acting like a simpleton who is just blah blah blah. He's talking all the time and he talks in those servers a ton of time. And I'm like, why are you here? Are you not like a businessman that's supposed to help MrBeast? Why are you dealing with those children? Why are you talking inappropriate things with children? What are you doing? I mean, any grown-up person would know that you're not supposed to do those things. And why would you have an interest to do those things in the first place? It just doesn't make any sense unless you have some kind of a fetish about this. You
You know,
extract some kind of a pleasure out of this.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the tweets as well, but even not only in Discord or even private message, but on Twitter or X, but when it was Twitter at the time, Chris would actually be promoting some controversial and adult-oriented. Again, I hate censoring myself, but adult-oriented comments on Twitter for the whole public to see, for everybody to see. And he even had some interactions with said artist, who was doing those controversial imagery of people not of age. And the thing is, how could he even be promoting somebody? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he like do an image of Keemstar's kid? Again, I gotta be careful just what everything else. But that's what he did, and that is beyond effed up. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that before. So, Jimmy should have kept an eye on it. I mean, if was your number one guy or one of your second in commands, you should have been well aware of what he was doing and what he was saying to people of your audience. And if you're trying to build a parasocial relationship and try to manipulate people, that's abusive. And I think we're only just witnessing more people looking into how the entire operation is run. And he did let Chris go. He fired him, or either that they, at least according to Chris, he decided to leave. But MrBeast is saying, yeah, we fired him, or something of that nature. But my concern now is, what does this mean for the long run for YouTube and it being a platform? Because look, the fact that YouTube never went after SS Sniper Wolf for doxing somebody, I'm wondering what YouTube is willing to do to defend MrBeast, because that's their cash cow. That is one of their front card people. And if they can't fix this, or if they can't put this under the or make it go away, which I don't think it will, I think a lot of content. I think there's going to be a big wave of, I guess, new rules and regulations that YouTube will do so that this never happens again. Because the whole idea of YouTube was like for content creators to, put ourselves out there, make our own creations. But ever since then, MrBeast, he's able to do like a production value and studio operations and make consistent content. And if that's gone, I mean, who's going to start coming in? Will it be more corporate media? Will it be more studios coming in and taking over the space? And if that's the case, the chance for the little guy or gal on YouTube to make themselves into something might long be gone. And that's what I'm thinking about. Like, what is the fallout? What is the worst case scenario in which this could happen? Because I think if this is potentially the downfall of MrBeast, how does this hurt the rest of us? Because now I'm worried about your channel. I'm worried about my channel. I'm worried about everybody else's channel. What does this mean? And are we all done for now because of this, I guess, horrible management?
Yeah. Of course, we have to worry about that ourselves as content creators, because we all know what happened with Logan Paul. Situation years ago. I used to have another channel that was monetized, my Xenoware Princess channel, and
Hmm?
that got killed and is still absolutely dead by this to this day, because YouTube changed the rules around, and I can't monetize this channel to this day because I have to, pour all of my attention there. That's just not possible with the new restrictions and rules. I just cannot achieve that anymore. So it's that, and not because something that I have done, but because something that's someone that is called Logan Paul decided to go in a forest, and you know what he did. So that is horrible. We have to think about that now. Yeah, of course. But another thing, I want to put more spotlight on Chris himself, because
Yeah.
as we said before, he all of a sudden decided to transition, and this seems very out of left field. There are some people that you can genuinely say, like look at Blair White, for example. You can
Right.
say, if you are watching her videos, if you know her story, that she is a legitimate person that wants to. I mean, she did transition when she was like 20, and now she's 30, and she does not have any intention to go back. She's really a real transgender, someone that is diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and she really has that. And I do assimilate her, so to speak. I do see her as a woman, basically. She has the feminine voice. She really transitioned. We're not going to talk about other details, but to me, she is a woman. That's how I see her. Anyway, with the case of Chris, he was a very regular guy his whole life. He acted like every guy would act when they're young and dumb and, act
Mm-hmm.
around the women, act around guys, the simpleton stuff, the swears, the dirty words, everything that you can imagine from a young and kind of silly guy. So I just cannot fathom how is he a genuine transgender? That's the first thing. How he will just marry, have kids. His wife will have no idea, because that's how it seems like from everything that I watched, that she had no idea. All of a sudden, oh, I'm going to become a woman now. It does seem that he is listening to the left side, of politics. That's how it seems like. And a lot of
I
people
don't think
suggested
that's the
that.
case.
Are you
I don't
sure?
think. I think because are you well aware of there was a recent tweet that came out, and it was a screenshot of Chris's sister apparently. Now the statement is that he would go into her room and take her women clothes, and wear them and get a perverse pleasure out of doing that. So she has indicated, at least what the tweet has said, is that he's just doing this for his own ego, and it's just doing this for his own pleasure. There's nothing about him identifying or either that being politically affiliated with anything of that nature. It's more of this is his own thinking, and if people want to put that in mind, it's just that statement from his sister, and at least according from what I've been seeing from all these other people who are doing far more deeper dives into this, that's looking like that was probably the case, and that this is just more of somebody who has a lot of issues up here, and that's
Okay,
the
that
simplest way of doing that. And
sounds,
look,
yeah,
and
absolutely
look, and
logical,
look,
yeah.
and look. The thing is, more of this is probably going to be coming out because sooner or later, with stories like this, you know that the mother of the child that Chris had with will probably speak out. Maybe we'll hear more from personal friends and family members or other people who will want to speak out. Now, again, some of these stories we have to again look at it as like, is somebody trying to get their 15 minutes of fame? Is somebody trying to really trying to do good and calling for some regulation or some order or some accountability or justice? Fine. But with all of this happening, I think this is just more of somebody who got famous real quickly, has a lot of issues unresolved, and never bothered to look into it. And anyone that was close to him never bothered to get him help, which is, again, a serious issue, especially when you're having such weird conversations or having somebody younger than you and you're calling them dad, which is just, I don't know, very disgusting to me. Like
Yeah.
I find it revolting. Like even talking, like it makes my skin crawl. And again, what's insane is they got millions upon millions of subscribers, and I get it. Like, but their audience also caters to kids.
Disgusting.
Like,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean, from that point
yeah,
of
it's
view,
just
it's
like,
just red flags, red flags, red flags, like this, like posting red flags, basically. Okay, so you can say that this is his own thing, but I'm sure that the left side is just endorsing that anyways, because
well, yeah, we saw that. We did see that when Sunny V2 did that video, and Sunny V2 never apologized. And I'm pretty sure somewhere out there, he's sitting on his rocking chair, just smiling and saying, "I was right the whole time," because he was attacked, and a lot of people tried to get him canceled. He's still around. His channel's still up there, and I've been actually looking at that video. I actually watched it before we did the show, and all the comments in there saying like this video's aged like fine wine. I bet somewhere out there, Sonny's just smiling. And a year ago, this was brought up, and now How can you cancel anybody, especially if all this evidence is very clear? And if there were people who, if there are more people who are going to come out saying, "Hey, we were victims of this, or this has happened," Mr. Beast, and by greater attention, Chris, have a lot to account for, a lot to
Yeah.
talk about.
And it's very bad for trans people as well. I mean, for real trans people to see this
Mm-hmm.
happening because this is extremely bad for their whole image. I'm sure that
Mm-hmm.
Blair White is going to mention at some point because uh, by every account, seems that Chris is just a fake transgender, like all around. He's just a creep. That's how it looks like from now. I mean, from this moment, that's how it looks like. He is not really a transgender. And then if you take what his sister said, and he's really a creep, okay? Then if you take the fact that he likes this type of art, means that he's really sick in the head because there's literally
Yeah.
no excuse for any person to want to look at such art depicting what it's depicting, you know. I mean, to every adult or just a normal person, such a thing will be extremely disgusting, disturbing. You cannot want to see it. You will be scarred for life if you see such a thing. That is how it is affecting our psyche, like of normal people. This is something that really scars you, like instantly. It's burnt. It's like here, you know, you can see it when you close your eyes. That is the normal reaction of such imagery in general. So for him to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that and put it on his wall, he's sick, okay? That's no excuse whatsoever. And then you have what he said in the Discord, how inappropriate he was. Okay, he is like, I mean, number one, is Chris Tyson a disgusting person? Yeah, absolutely. Is he sick in the head? Yeah, he has some kind of issue because he's doing this, and apparently this is more important than his family ever was, because you know they say, oh, he's taking care of his family. He left his family, so whatever care he's taking of them, it's clearly not is not healthy, is not what traditional family
Mm-hmm.
is. So it's broken. It's absolutely broken because to him it's more important to pretend that he's transgender and to extract some kind of a pleasure of talking dirty to young people and to have these pictures and all of those things that we mentioned. And then you have MrBeast, who allegedly was in the Discord. Allegedly, he saw what is happening. It's still under question whether or not that was really him or someone else that used his account. But it's really hard to be someone else, as far as I understand by all the explanations. Then there's the fact that can those Discord logs be faked in some way? Well, of course, you
Mm-hmm.
can fake maybe something, but there are a ton, just a ton of them, as far as I saw. So probably not faked, you know. So
Yeah.
now the next question is, yeah, how much MrBeast knew and what did he do to stop this? Seems like he didn't do anything. He just defended Chris this whole time and said transphobia like every person on the left in America
Right.
would say, instead
Wait.
of doing something.
So you bring that up because again, last year when Sunny V2 did drop that, Mr. Beast was like, "No, Chris is my friend. This is transphobia and all this other stuff." And I think I could only speculate. I'm probably wrong. I mean, I'm not asking anyone to agree with me or anything like that. But what I could speculate, again, just speculate. The reason why probably he was around for so long is because Chris was there from the very beginning, so he probably knows the whole operations of MrBeast, and probably maybe the reason why he was never let go in the first place is because maybe Chris could have said, "Hey, I know how this whole operation runs. You let me go, and I'm bringing the whole house down. Like if I go, I'm taking all of you down with me. I know where all the bodies are buried." He could easily have done something like that.
Yeah.
That's that's why I think he was around for so long. Because in one video in particular, in that or at least one snippet in the Sunny V2 video, there's a scene. They did a live stream, like opening up art, and there are portions in there where MrBeast just looks visibly uncomfortable with some of the things that Chris is saying, and of course they're joking. They're not saying anything extreme during the live stream, but it's more of you could read body language, and if you could tell somebody's like uncomfortable around a person, like if there's like, that kind of stuff. It's It's right out there, and it signals before all of you. And I encourage everybody, just if you haven't seen the Sunny V2 video, check it out after the live stream because you will see firsthand, like, oh, Sunny V2 was onto something, and then read the comments because they're all pure gold.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, so we're going to watch this unfold, see what else comes out. Really, we can just hope that you know, this whole thing, at least if Chris is now fired, the things with Discord are totally non-existent anymore. So he's not doing that at least. Hopefully, he's not close to any kids in not a, you know, inappropriate manner, of course. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
MrBeast will be upfront about things and say, I don't know, something, and also hopefully this will not be like an avalanche of consequences for every other person on the platform who just wants to really live and do their job. So
Yeah,
there's that.
I agree. I agree 100%. I am worried, so we'll all keep our fingers crossed. Maybe this is the worst of it, but you know, I'm gonna say this is only the beginning.
We'll see, guys. Yeah, I do want to actually thank to everyone in the chat for being here. Hi, guys, and hopefully you're enjoying the show. Now, we do have actually the next topic, which is, of course, Henry Cavill in the realm of 40k. He's a very, very big fan, if you don't know. So, he was reading an Aaron Dembski-Bowden book in an Instagram
Ooh.
post, and he wanted to thank the author about this time spent with his book. And people are wondering what is he reading exactly, what this means for 40k. So of course everyone are speculating about that. And what to tell. I mean, if I were Henry, I was just going to expand and more my knowledge of 40k, because of course you cannot read absolutely everything in 40k, just absolutely impossible. And even if you do, you'll not remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
maybe he has a particular idea of what he wants to do, because the Amazon project is still ongoing and stuff are being probably written down, like ideas, concepts in general. Is it going to be a movie? Is it going to be a TV show? So if I were Henry, I have to get my head in the game, so I would definitely read something. So yeah, what do you think?
Right. Well, first of all, Henry Cavill has made it very clear that he respects the lore, he respects canon, and he respects the fans, and he really cares about Warhammer 40k. Hell, he fought tooth and nail for The Witcher, but eventually he was pushed aside, and now The Witcher is going belly up. So what I think Henry Cavill is trying to do here is, since he's a big name celebrity, and this is a passion project that he loves, I think what he's trying to do is bring in normal people like, hey, this is something that I like. And if you guys are interested in it, let me break it down for you and follow you along of what the story is. Because if you can bring in the normal people, they're not going to just be indifferent if there's going to be a change in Warhammer 40k lore, because Henry Cavill is a name that is dedicated to good storytelling and being part of something. Because when he's part of something, he gives his all. He gives his 110%. Hell, he gives 1,000,000% into it. And viewers were rightfully upset with what happened with The Witcher when he was gone. And so anyone that was a fan of Henry Cavill were like, okay, well, wait, Henry, you're talking about 40K. What is this about? And he might go further than what you see from the normal 40K fan theory channels. So he might even reference them and say, like, hey, check what he's trying to get people involved in this and maybe break it down. Or he could probably, I mean, again, I'm just speculating here, but he's trying to warm people up to what 40k could be, what it is, and maybe this is a fight that he's trying to do with studio execs. Like, hey, you producers and studio execs don't understand this. Let me show you how it's done, and I will supersede everything that you guys want to try and change. Because once I get everyone involved in this and see what 40k is, they're gonna want the real thing and not some editor or writer or producer thinking that they could do a better job. That's just me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay, well, most importantly, I think that this is going forward. There's no signs for us to think that this is not. There are some channels, unfortunately, one Endymion Pretender that makes videos all the time, like Henry Cavill quit or something. So I
He's
had
not
to,
quitting. He's
yeah,
not
so
quitting.
I had to do a video about this. He quitting? Of course, no, he's not. He's not giving up on this. And then if the whole thing about the female custodies is correct, that Amazon is not to be blamed about this. If you heard the story, a story leaked. Basically, one guy on Twitter, I made a video about that. So if that is correct, it means that Amazon has nothing to do with any of that, and they're
Hmm.
just working on whatever they're working on with Henry. So we literally know next to nothing, and if we want to say anything about this nothing that we know, we literally have to pull it out of our butts, which we're not going to do.
Right.
So we only can think, knowing what Henry said before, his whole attitude towards 40K, we can only make like an educated guesses about his whole idea and how is he handling this. But I do think that he's handling this with a lot of respect and love towards 40K, and I do think that he is working on this as his priority because it is huge undertaking, and if he is not doing this as his priority, we're not going to see anything by 2030. And we're supposed to see something, at least something little bit, by the end of next year, whether that be at least a trailer or something finished. So there's that,
Y-
guys. And
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
yeah, I just want to say what Aaron Dembski Bowden wrote. So he most recently wrote Echoes of Eternity, a Horus Heresy book, Siege of Terra. This
Mm.
is actually my favorite book of him. I can almost like say that it's written by Dan Abnett to a point. I mean, it's really well written book, and the fight that Sanguinius had in this book is just absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Angron. Oh my goodness, yes. That fight was pure gold. Especially when you hear Sanguinius saying like, "Hey, I free you from this," or he said something of that nature to Angron, like, I free you from this torment." And again, that this just goes on capturing just how much of a boss character it was, because for a long time in Warhammer 40K lore, it was speculated: did Sanguinius fight Angron? Did they fight? Did they not fight? Did Angron win? Did Sanguinius win? Like there was this big question mark of what went down between those two, and what we got was actually very satisfactory. I think I'm going to say it's very satisfactory. You feel Sanguinius's pain going up against his own brother who has fallen to chaos. Which, by the way, a little side note, I actually was part of Warrior Tier's video Angron, and I was one of the kin soldiers that got his head crushed by Angron. So I know what it's like to run into Angron, and the guy, you know what? He's the liberal media is smearing him. He's actually a good guy. I talked to him on set, very articulate. Leave Angron alone.
Ha! Oh yeah, damn it! And it's a good thing that you remind me about this because this is extremely long video, like it's 2 hours. It's like a movie with pictures.
Oh, it was great to be part of that project. I loved every minute
Yeah,
of it.
actually, this is the best thing that they have done, in my opinion.
Oh,
And I
oh
do
yeah.
want to react to it, like we talk with you if Warrior Theory have something against us reacting to it, but they are giving their blessing for us to react to it. We just have to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I actually talked to them too, and I have to do it too. I might have to do a special live stream reaction because it is a 2 hour video. But here's the thing: I did watch it myself, and I loved it, it was such an honor to be with all those other great voice actor talent, people who really love Warhammer 40K, and in the off chance if Warrior Tier hears this, hey, you guys did a phenomenal job, and they went through a lot of sacrifice just to get that thing done. Like I know a little bit of some of the inside baseball, and they really put their heart and soul into it. So, folks, if you hadn't seen that video, check it out. Yours truly is in it. I meet Angron.
Yeah, it's actually the
But
closest thing to a movie, even though, just moving pictures, but they did it in such an impactful way. I felt I was there, really. It's amazing.
yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to touch upon some of the books that he also wrote. So actually, the first ever books that I ever read, that I ever listened to, an audiobooks that I ever listened to in 40K, was exactly Void Stalker, the Night Lord's omnibus. I listened to all of those three, and I did enjoy them. There are some super massive details that I always explain and say in a funny way how he explains some things that are just so detailed. Not my favorite type of a style, but he's not doing that every time. Other than that, it's extremely impactful book, and really you really are immersed and you are transported there, which is very important. This is something that not many authors can do to such an extent. I think that Aaron really does it extremely well. Then there was the Master of Mankind. I'm
Mhm.
not a huge fan because I expected more of the Emperor in this book, and there's really not for a book that is called The Master of Mankind. You really don't get what you would expect from this book. I just didn't. And of course, a lot of people know about one of his most famous books, which is Hell's Reach. And this is something that I first saw as an animation, brought to screen
Yeah.
on YouTube, and it's amazing. I also have actually a musical tribute to Hell's Reach here on my channel. So yeah, it's a compelling story, just a smaller story about the Black Templars going against the orcs, but a lot of people absolutely love it. The other
Mhm.
books that I'm seeing here in this list, I'm pretty sure some of them I have read, but not all of them. So yeah, I'm yet to dive in more into Aaron Dembski Bowden as an author, but at least I have a few books that I read of his. So yeah, that's it.
Hell's Reach, pure work of art. And I remember I showed it to one of my friends, and it was like, wow, this was a great movie. This was, because I showed him the animated film, and I said like, this is based on, like, there was some stuff that look, the animator did a great job. 10 out of 10. I mean, I'm not going to be an armchair general, so though he should have done this. The fact that he did all of that is a huge monumental task. And I have to say, as soon as my friend read the book, they were like, "Wow, this was a great series. What is this all about? Are we going to follow more adventures?" Like, there's more than just one adventure. There is a lot of adventures. It's like, whoa. So that was like way back in 2018. I think that's when Hell's Reach was becoming more available. I think when the animation was coming out, but great stuff, all of it. And I'm just glad that Henry Cavill is actually going out there and doing these readings or either that introducing his fans to something that he loves. And if this brings in a whole new wave of supporters for Warhammer 40K, and Henry Cavill is saying like, hey, this is how it is. I think you'll see a dedicated fan base, because right now what we're seeing is a growing distaste for a lot of IPs like Star Wars and Doctor Who and Marvel, and people want to be entertained. And look, I hate this. This is a little bit off topic, but even I'm starting to really have a little bit of anger towards House of the Dragon, because there's some things that have been cut out, and I'm
They have?
not.
I have not seen the latest episode. Don't tell me. I don't know what
Oh,
is
it's
cut
just
out.
they're doing things that don't make sense. Okay, like okay, so you've seen the episode where there's a dragon in the veil, right? Or supposedly a riderless dragon, not
Yeah,
that's in the
yeah.
thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so here's the thing: George R. R. Martin had made it very clear that his dragons are grounded in reality. They're not nomadic. They're predators, and they stay in one spot. Um, and that's one thing that's going on, because, and then there's also some other characters doing some very questionable things that was not in the book. So
If you mean
yeah,
Rhaenyra doing something with someone and she's not really orientated this way, yeah.
yeah, there's that too. Because I was like, that makes no sense, Renera, and you're confiding in somebody that you've only known for like maybe a week, 2 weeks at max. What are you're supposed to be running a kingdom or try and get the kingdom, and that's why I'm on Team Green. I'm with Aegon. Because Rhaenyra's lost me. There's just no way I'm supporting her.
Okay, I'm on team Brett because Aegon is disgusting, and the other guy, his brother, is even more disgusting. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
You're
for
you're
sure.
you're you're, you're with Rhaenyra?
Yeah, but not because she's a woman. It's because I just like her. a lot more in
Ah,
her part of the kingdom, a lot more. But
I'm
yeah, I just don't like
on
the
the
greens.
greens.
They're not supposed to be there
On
on
the
the
greens.
throne.
On the greens.
I just don't get it. But okay, okay, it doesn't matter. Moving on, guys, moving on. So, next is a huge thing that just happened over at Comic Con. So all of a sudden, and first of all, if you have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, you will know that the movie is something. I mean, me and Lowen watched it. We were floored. We love it. We just love everything about it. There's some amazing
No
cameos that just
spoilers.
blew our minds. Ah, what?
No spoilers, please.
No
No
spoilers.
spoilers, please.
No spoilers.
Okay.
I'm just saying that what we have seen just uh, yeah made our minds to pieces. That is how
Okay.
amazing that it is. And a lot of people are asking where is this movie going to save Marvel, and as amazing as it is, because it's really amazing, and yeah, like you have no idea. I would say that this movie will not save Marvel just because it is so cool and so unique. I don't think that Marvel can do another movie like that that's so good and so clever in every way. So this movie just stands on its own. And yeah, eh, okay, it has its own quality. That's what I want to say, and it's all about Ryan Reynolds and how he thought of things. So kudos to him and not Kevin Feige in this case. So I would say just leave to Ryan Reynolds to run everything, because the way that he presented the characters here, it's amazing. I never seen better Wolverine done ever. And if you have seen the latest X-Men 97 animation, you will remember how Wolverine actually was supposed to be, and he was never this way in the movies. But here he has done exactly how he is supposed to act and be as a character. Just absolutely amazing. So this movie stands on its own. It's so higher up and such a level that I just don't think that Marvel can top that. And if they do, then you can say that this movie will save the universe because it started a new wave of quality. But I just don't think that that's the case. And now on Comic Con, we see Robert Downey Jr. presenting himself as the new Doctor Doom, and of course, 50% of the audience is absolutely split on this, because this is either a variant of Tony Stark being Doctor Doom, or I don't know, how can he be like the real Doctor Doom and looking like Tony Stark? That has to be addressed. Even if his face is scarred to oblivion, we will all know that that is him. So what do you think?
So there's a couple ways of breaking this down. There is a Marvel story, an Elseworld universe, where Doctor Doom and Tony Stark went to the same university instead of Reed Richards. Knowing Doctor Doom, it was Tony Stark, and Doom builds a device in which he puts his mind in Tony's body, and Tony's mind goes in Doom's body. So that's one thing to say. Or we have to remember that Kang the Conqueror is no longer the main villain anymore because of what happened with certain scandals. And it could be like maybe this is Kang's attempt to change the time and have, instead of a good Tony Stark, have an evil Tony Stark and have it be Doctor Doom. Like there's a whole wide range of variables that can play into account. I just hope that if they are going to be bringing back Tony Stark, because I remember that interview that Robert Downey Jr. did with Joe Rogan. Like people are asking, "Hey, can you come back as Iron Man? Can you come back as Iron Man?" And Robert Downey Jr. said, "Don't you think that would, ruin everything? Like, why would I put the jersey back on after having a good send off like that?" So they either one had to pay him a big chunk of money, and this might not be like a Tony Stark redemption. This might be an evil Doctor Doom. And Robert Downey Jr., hey, the man can act. The man won our hearts with Iron Man, and he might be able to capture our fear with Doctor Doom. We haven't seen, he could be instead of being a lighthearted Marvel villain or some sort of one-off character, he could actually really be if they're going to be smart with it, a formidable force in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so I'm split on it too. It's either you live long enough, either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So right now we're all just speculating. I think maybe this could be the buzz that maybe Disney's finally looking at the red line going down and saying, okay, no one's watching our movies anymore. We suck. How do we
Yeah.
make ourselves not suck anymore?
Well, yeah, first thing, is this a very desperate move from Marvel? And yeah, it does seem
It
that it
could be.
is. That is
It's a Hail
huge.
Mary. It's a Hail Mary. It could we could call it a Hail Mary. I think that's fair enough to call it that.
Yeah, so it seems that it is. Second, the biggest worry of me and my friend Logan actually is that this is going to diminish Doctor Doom, meaning that if he is looking like Tony Stark for some reason, this does mean that Doctor Doom will not be the Victor Von Doom that is coming from, well, a Romani descendants, and it does seem like they're not going to do the Doctor Doom that he's supposed to be as a character, and they're adapting a story that nobody liked in the comic books. Literally, there's a first version of the story, and they're adapting the second that nobody likes. It's extremely convoluted, it's all over the place. It's too early for that, so I don't know how they're going to do it. It's probably going to take a lot of rewrites because it really, really sucks.
Mhm.
and and so they really have to be clever with this, is what I'm saying. They have to connect things in the way that will make sense, and it's going to justify and make a lot more meaningful for Robert Downey to play Doctor Doom, because it's just not going to be enough if you say the line that you are the live yeah, you either live long enough to become the villain, something, because if this is
You either
not
die a
really,
hero,
yeah, I know,
you either die a hero or live long enough to see
yeah,
yourself become the villain.
yeah, exactly. So sometimes when they try to do such things that seem that they really fit, they just fall flat on their face instead, and they really lose their meaning. So that is what we are afraid that is going to happen, because Kevin Feige for the last years just does things that really fall flat on their faces.
Mhm.
He really thinks that's really awesome and clever, and then you see the box office of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania, and you're like, and then you see Thor before that, and you're like, what was that? Is that a joke towards everyone and Thor? Are you thinking that the audience is an idiot, or what is happening here? So it's really a huge joke towards our intelligence. That's how it felt for the last few years, and now this seems like another cheap shot, so to speak. So we are going to wait and see if anything has changed for the better. And it's normal for the audience to be divided by this point, because once again, this is one of the biggest villains, and we know what they did to other villains, how they totally screwed them up, how they introduced
Mhm.
the Mandarin years ago, and it was just a laughing stock. It was a mockery. Yeah.
Mhm. I I think if anything, this is their Hail Mary. But if they're trying to really bring in the profit again, because Hollywood is hemorrhaging money, Hollywood is in some dangerous waters right now. And if anything, if so we have to remember how the first Marvel Cinematic Universe started off. Like they first did the original Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, all of that, and it was all leading up to this villain Thanos, which was brought up in the first Avengers movie. If they want to do this properly, they have to make this Doctor Doom as mysterious, as tyrannical, and as frightful as Thanos was. So if you're doing this, you got to do it right. You just can't say, "Okay, here's Robert Downey Jr. He's Doom." If Disney's smart, the thing is, I just said something that already just derailed my entire argument. If Disney was smart, and all of Disney's past actions have been foolish, it's been based on narcissism, and they feel like the audience should be just eating this up, and this very well could be just a quick cash grab, so they could, I don't know, do well in the following quarterly months, however which way Disney runs its studios. I mean, that is the concern there. So I'm 50-50 on this too. It was an interesting intro, but now what? Like how are you going to run with this, Disney? You got Robert Downey Jr. back. Is this going to be good? Are we going to see him really develop this character, or is he just in there for the money?
Yeah, and he really got old, damn it. He really got old. And I don't
Yeah.
see how, well, sorry, he did. He did. He doesn't look like himself much. He's like Grandpa Iron Man right now. That's how he looks like, unfortunately. So,
Uh,
and he does not want to train. He doesn't care about that. It seems like all the level of,
Whoa, he's not wanting to train?
I
He's not trained to
mean,
get fit?
Yeah, I mean, he never did care about that, you know? So it seems like, oh, we're just going to say that you're a very good actor and you don't actually need to almost do anything. So yeah, I mean, he did train, of course, but it was so minimal that it was barely making any difference. And in the comic books, you just see how Tony Stark looks. He's amazing. And in the animations, he's just a big Bruce Wayne type of a muscular guy. And that was never the case in the movies. Okay. Okay, never mind that. People are going to complain about me saying that, I know, but we do have to think about how the characters are looking like. That's pivotal to the character. And if that means they have good physique, then they have good physique. And, full stop and not argue about that. They are what they are. So if you're going to appreciate one quality of theirs, you have to appreciate another quality. Just why don't we just have just smaller Wolverine than barely seeing him on screen? Anyway, so never mind that. Okay, another thing that I had in mind. So yeah, they really have to be careful how they're treating their villains from now on. This is going to be critical because the last one was basically Thanos. Now I don't want to say anything about the new villain, but I would just say that she's pretty menacing in Deadpool. She's not lame or anything. You can say probably for some people she would be, of course, different opinions, but she's really freaking nasty and evil.
Mhm.
So it's not like you're going to not take her seriously because she's very powerful. Okay, that aside, now we do have also some people that have seen actual footage on Comic Con of Fantastic Four as well, and some other stuff from the new Captain America, or how we like to say, not Captain America movie at all. And the Fantastic Four casting is very questionable. I mean, the only one that looks that like they're supposed to be in that role is Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm.
Oh,
She's the only
really?
one that looks the part. Everyone else are, who is this guy? Why he is here? Johnny Storm, the guy. He just looks like Jeff Bezos or something. And Pedro Pascal looks like Pedro Pascal all the time. So he's just
Wait, wait,
not.
wait a minute. What's Pedro Pascal playing as?
He's freaking Mr. Fantastic. You didn't know?
Didn't they have the guy who played Jim from The Office? That's Mr. Fantastic.
No?
What?
No. Oh
What?
yeah, I wish. I wish that was him. But it's not, okay? It's freaking Pedro Pascal and he does not look anything like Reed Richards. And next to Vanessa Kirby, he looks like a plant. A freaking plant. She's gorgeous, she's awesome, and he's a plant next to her. It's ridiculous. So yeah, and like I said, the other guy that plays Johnny Storm, he just looks like Jeff Bezos, basically. And I cannot spoil anything, but let's say we have a lot better Johnny Storm still existing. You cannot use him, but okay, never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna stop here.
I feel sick. I feel depressed. All right, this Fantastic Four movie's gonna suck.
Yeah, and it's taking place like in another universe. Basically, everything's very classic, very old. And yeah, once again, you have Vanessa Kirby next to next to Pedro Pascal. I just don't get what's the Pedro Pascal appeal. I mean, I like him as an actor. I like him in Game of Thrones, but this guy got so old between Game of Thrones and now. It's ridiculous.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, any attempt to make a Fantastic Four movie has always ended in complete disaster. And the Roger Corman Fantastic Four will always be close to my heart because that Doctor Doom, I, my favorite scene in that movie is when he tells the Fantastic Four that they have, and he does it like this: you have 12, and he writes 12 hours like that to bring. They're looking for a device, and he just writes like 12 on the screen. And it's like, first of all, the way I'm writing 12 is like reverse, right? So he's doing that, and it's just like you have 12 hours to do that. It's just it's campy, but at least that's a work of art. That is the greatest Fantastic Four movie ever. Fight me, internet. That's the best movie there ever was.
Well, when I was a kid, I really liked the first two movies. I just
Really?
did. Yeah, it was great for what they were at the time. Hey, I have not rewatched them as a grown up, okay? I have not. As a kid, I liked them very much. And actually, those movies were the movies that got my mom into superhero films. She didn't know what that was before that. And when she
Okay.
watched Fantastic Four, the first two, she was like, oh, that's pretty fun, actually. I'm gonna keep watching these. And she was until Iron Man 3 and with the Mandarin, all those stuff. And she was like, the heck is that now? And I'm like, yeah, no,
Oh, she
mom,
didn't like it.
sucks. I know. So, and another thing, because Martin says, so there's a new F4, a new Captain America, and what else? What else? There's the Marvel version of the Suicide Squad, basically, that's coming on, and absolutely nobody cares about that. Like, who the heck cares about this movie? Do you know what I'm talking
That's
about?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I think I do. It's just another jabroni squad. Listen, Marvel, I'm not going to tell you, how to make money, but if you were smart with your product, you would have just let the films rest, hire a new person to become Captain America, hire a new person to play Tony Stark, hire a new person to play Thor. Just there you go. It could have been like a James
Recast
Bond role,
T'Challa!
you know?
Recast T'Challa!
And they didn't do that. And they should have. And what Marvel did is, like, the more I look at that trailer, the more sick I am because they were hyping that trailer up to make people watch a film in order for them to feel bad about the passing of the actor who played T'Challa. And when,
Yeah.
when, when in reality, they could have just been like, "Hey, we're gonna cast a new actor," and obviously Hollywood, there's always that script. If they found an actor to play, it'd be like, "I'm humbled to play this role. I hope people like my interpretation of this character, and I'm doing this in tribute and honor." All that, like there was so much that they could have done, and they didn't do it, and that was so stupid.
Yeah, it also was very, very disrespectful when you watch the whole Black Panther too. It was very disrespectful
Yeah.
how everything was made, represented, the funeral, then his sister. It was so dumb. And actually, there is a video on YouTube. One guy is making analysis even of the first movie and how their own logic, the Wakanda logic of how a succession is supposed to be happening, does not make any sense. So you gotta watch that. So even the first movie, there's some things that just don't make any sense by their own rules and traditions. Yeah, you just gotta watch that.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll have to check that out sometime. There's so much to consume. I wasn't really aware of Pedro Pascal being Mr. Fantastic when they could have got that guy who played Jim in The Office to be Mr. Fantastic. That would have been easier to do because he looked like a Mr. Fantastic. He could have pulled it. I'm not a big fan of that guy, but he could have done it. He easily
Yeah,
could have done that.
I mean, it's not
So
that he's like the most handsome man in the world or anything, but he looked great in that role. He has the manners, at least for the first few seconds, almost like we saw him in Doctor Strange. He's just fine. I can accept him as Mr. Fantastic, but Pedro Pascal is not that I'm not gonna accept him, but it just the casting is so weird. And why cast a very good looking actress and then just cast someone that does not sit like a manly man next to her? It's just you know.
well, you are well aware of the scandal that came out from Disney, where like where they do like hiring and they've denied a few people. One in particular where they said like, well, yeah, we don't think you're uh really represented. Like they're going after anybody. Like they have a hiring process, and anyone that doesn't fit their quota, they'll cast them out. And Disney's a very kind of in kind of club, and if you know how to play the game, then you're going to get a lot of roles, and that's probably why Pedro Pascal's getting a lot of roles because he knows how to play the game, and he's in the in crowd, which is unfair because I'm pretty sure there was somebody else who probably could have played a better Mr. Fantastic. We will see. We'll see.
Yeah, preach. Preach that. Okay, I want to say something in particular here because Astro, hi to you. He says, for the campers, we can't stay youthful and young looking forever like Primarchs. I know, but look, guys, you have to know where I'm coming from. I'm a fitness and health nerd. and I'm literally studying, and I'm teaching other people how to stay young for as long as possible, which includes the health thing. So it's not only about looking good, it's about staying young in and out. So to me, that's very, very important. And it's not that hard. People may think that it is very hard, but it's not. You can be actually poor and still do this. And
Mhm.
people from Hollywood, they have all the resources available to them. They can do whatever procedures, and they are doing. Some men just decide to not do any procedures. Some of the actors, but some others are doing. They actually dedicated channels on YouTube with plastic surgeons, like real ones, and some other people that had plastic surgery done a ton, and they have access and have spoken to a ton of plastic surgeons themselves. They live in Hollywood. They have procedures done themselves a ton, and they understand how these things work, and they analyze celebrities and what has been done to celebrities' faces, all those things. So they have absolutely everything that you can think of, and some of them just don't do anything to stay young, and that is when I'm objecting, because they can do this, but they seem like they're really lazy, and some celebrities are freaking lazy. A
Mhm.
lot of times, I have seen pictures of Scarlett Johansson when she's not playing anything, when she's not playing Black Widow or whatever else role, on the beach, and she looks not very good by my standards. Just not very good. I wouldn't go in my bathing suit if I looked like that. Okay? I wouldn't. And I'm here sitting, being like super mega poor compared to most people, especially in America, and doing my freaking best to look absolutely the best way that I can possibly look, and studying how to do that like all the time
Mhm.
for years and years, and I'm pulling off a beach body no matter what season it is. And I'm consistently keeping fasting, like discipline, fasting, training, eating particular
Mhm.
things, particular times, knowing my hormones, all of those things. I'm doing this extremely in an immaculate way, knowing my own body. So I'm coming from a place where I'm not judging people. I'm just saying you can do so much more if you want to, and if you have all the resources, I just cannot excuse you. I just cannot excuse you. I'm
Mhm.
poor and I can do this. You can also do this. Freaking go and respect
Exactly.
yourself and your body and do this. If I'm an actress, imagine how then I'm going to look like. I'm going to be even leaner with more muscle
Mhm.
year round. I'm never gonna stop. You're never gonna see me soft ever, because personal respect is number one.
That's right. You don't respect yourself, then guess what? You're not going to be respected by nobody, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody, and you are going to be left behind. So, as always, folks, your body is your gift. So just treat yourself properly.
Not to a cake. I mean, treat yourself not with the cake. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Although I'm eating cake from time to time, but then I'm going to, of course, try to burn those calories or fast for long hours. So I'm gonna compensate for that, and not just gonna eat it and be like, "Oh, I'm sitting on the sofa the whole day." Yeah.
Precisely. Precisely.
Okay, guys, so basically that is it about, the future of Marvel is really looking iffy, the future of DC looking very, very iffy, and James Gunn does not know what he's doing. That's how it seems like. He actually revealed a new DC logo just like 3 or 4 days ago, which is the older DC logo. Now, what are you doing, James Gunn? Do you think that we are stupid? It's just the old DC logo, and he's like, I test people that know what they're doing, and here's the logo, and I'm like, seriously, James Gunn, this is the old logo, my man. So yeah, that too. We're going to see what's gonna happen there.
So, nonetheless, though, I think we pretty much broke apart what Doctor Doom is going to be and what he represents, or either that who knows. But I think I'll just end this on a good note, and that is, I'm hopeful that maybe Robert Downey Jr. will actually bring his A game. I hope. I hope. I can only hope.
Yeah, we can all hope, of course, and Endymion said something about a particular scenario that he thinks that these are, I mean, yeah, these are the things that could happen with Doctor Doom and how they're going to play this whole thing out with the story he's speculating. Of course, it does kind of sound logical. So yeah, I mean, if they manage to integrate Doctor Doom, really make him to be Doctor Doom, not some kind of a cheap Tony Stark variant, then it's gonna be great. So we'll see. We'll see.
I hope. I just I don't know. We've been disappointed before, so we shall see. So when it comes out, I'll actually want to see it because Tony Stark back on the or Robert Downey Jr. back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would spend some of my hard-earned cash just to go see it in the big screen, just for memories.
Okay, guys. So finally, I want to finish to let you know because this is connected to MrBeast. So this week on OnlyFans, I'm going to do a topic: is Feastables actually healthy? The MrBeast chocolate bar. I'm going to make an analysis of what the chocolate bar contains. I'm going to let you know if how healthy or how unhealthy it is. That's one topic that I'm going to be doing at OnlyFans, and the other is about how being into basically bad boys can be a mental state, not very good one. And this is stemming from a recent court case about the guy that actually killed two women, but now women on the internet like him, which is absolutely crazy. Yeah.
You got 8,000 love letters. 8,000 love letters. Like, ladies, you could do so much better because he killed the last two. Okay, okay, hey, can't learn through the ears. You'll learn through the skin.
It's freaking fetish. I tell ya, it is not absolutely not normal to be attracted to someone that is a bad boy. There's literally nothing productive in that. It's only bad. It's bad. It's just bad. I just don't get it. And why I don't get it? Because I don't have this kind of a mental illness, okay? A fetish towards bad boys. Ridiculous. Very immature. Emotionally immature. Like, let those women tattoo that all over their bodies, Emotionally immature. Your face.
8,000 letters to that guy. I heard about it. 8,000. I'm like, really? After what he did to the last two?
We're going to need more mental health institutions.
Oh yes, in America or worldwide? Yeah. That's something like, wow. There's at least 8,000 confirmed crazy ladies out there who think I could change him. No, you cannot.
No.
You cannot do that. You run as fast as you can.
And plus, even if they could change him, the guy already killed two girls in their 20s, two young girls in cold blood.
He's behind bars. He's not going to do anything. He's for the rest of his life. That's where he's at. I think he's on the death penalty too. So
yeah.
No matter what, like he's done for. He's out of here. He's yesterday's news.
As he should be. As he should be. So he still have to pay for the crimes that he committed. You can't just take him and change him. Crazy women. Just go and find a normal man that's going to respect you and love you and treat you right, and him as well. Do not think that you're not supposed to treat him well as well. It's a two-way streak, okay? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I agree. My goodness.
Okay, guys. So, have a great night. We're going to see each other very soon. Thanks so much to Kit for joining me for this conversation. I hope that you all guys have fun. And I'm probably going to cut this into a few videos for people to find them easily. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being in the chat. Kit, always lovely to have you here. So yeah, guys, from me.
Always great to be here too.
Check his channel, Chicago Reacts, of course. Link is down below. I tag him, as always. So, love you guys. From me, the 40K Empress, and Kid, bye-bye.